Hey everyone, welcome to the Elite Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host, Sam Popple, along with my co-host, William McClellan. What's going on today, Will?
Hey man, what's happening? Everything good?
Man, great day. We got some great guests joining us today. Let me go ahead and click my live on before I introduce them. I want to make sure that everybody gets to see them. So let me just put going live now. That way everybody gets to see who we have on the show. So today we're going to have on Paul and Kashena Thorpe. We actually ran into them at a real estate mastermind thing on tax liens out of town in Mobile, and then we kind of saw each other in passing, knew we all looked familiar, and started talking. Found out everyone's local. They eat in Clean Eats in Shalimar pretty regularly, so that was really cool. But and then just as we were connecting, getting to know them, it was awesome. So Paul was a leader, over 20 years experience steering technology strategies and real estate investments. His career is marked by a unique blend of technical expertise and innovative leadership. And he has managed large-scale contracts and technical projects in high-stakes environments for notable defense contractors. His better half, Kashena, is the operations manager of their Airbnb listings. She is the reason why they started investing in Airbnb and continually pushes towards excellence. And for the past 3 years, she has been a Superhost. So they definitely know what they're doing. So without further ado, welcome the Thorpes to the show.
Hey guys.
How you guys doing today?
We're doing well. We're doing well.
Good. Sweet. Well, yeah, thanks so much for being on. We can kind of jump into it if you guys are ready.
We're ready, sir.
Sweet. Paul, with your background, tech, leadership, I believe you worked in government contracting. What brought you into this world of real estate investing?
Yeah, so I'm one of those unique guys who kind of started a lot of the terms that people talk about, like house hacking and whatnot, before they were real terms. So like I, really looking at how my parents, worked through and just, they worked 30, 40 years, whatever, and then retired. I wanted more out of it, right? And so I kind of said, so I got my first job as a defense contractor and looking to get the first house. And I'm talking to the real estate agent about buying a duplex, right? And this is back in 1997, right?
Nice.
And so I just always have wanted more than just, to go to work and come home and hopefully retire in 30, 40 years. And so and I'll kind of let Kashena speak more to it. So, my initial inclination was for long-term rentals. However, we got one. I basically handed over one long-term rental to Kashena, and then the next thing you know, I was handing over the second long-term rental to Kashena, and then the third long-term rental, and then she's like, okay. She's like, okay, man. Okay, we did all the long-term rentals, right? So what are we doing next? So then the next strategy was rental arbitrage, right? And then and we let rental arbitrage really run its course. And so then it's like, okay, well, now we need to do some co-hosting. And so I sent her a text, but we didn't even get into it because we was getting ready for this podcast. We got somebody, we got a new person like this afternoon who got referred to us from one of our co-hosts and now wants to co-host with us. So that's really the future moving forward for us.
Yeah, that's awesome. I do want to ask Kashena, since she's the operational force behind the Airbnb, is a question. But before that, I want to back up just a little bit on. Tell us about y'all's love story. Like, how'd you guys come together? So many people, there's mixed reviews out there. Should you do business with your spouse? Should you not avoid business with your spouse? I'm a single guy, so I have lots of hope of one day meeting someone that could be my partner on everything. How did that work? How did that come together? And how'd you guys know, everything was, that was going to be the right thing?
Well, so in terms of our love story, Kashena is special. In the best way possible, right? And what I would say is that I've had some marriages that didn't end well, and that's with a plural, right? And so so it is one of those deals where it's like you know when something's wrong, and then when it's right? And so
I'm really good about knowing when they're wrong.
Yeah, right. And so what I found was that with Kashena was, she was somebody who kind of taught me, hey, you're going the wrong direction, dude. And really had the patience and the time to really take me by the hand and lead me in the right direction, right? And by the way, her skill doing that was really important in terms of moving into Airbnbs. So I was dead set on long-term rentals. Dead set, man. Like this does not make sense. This is stupid, whatever, right? And so as part of our love story, she's just continued to working on me, and it doesn't, and obviously it does not stop with Airbnbs, right? It's like right. It's like, hey, dude, what are you doing with these kids? What are we doing with this?
Well, my background is in behavior therapy.
So she's trying to get me.
You knew how to work him just right.
My hardest client, right?
Yes, yeah. So as part of that, when we got married, and so we met each other late in life, right?
That's a whole nother podcast.
So another whole podcast, and quite honestly, one of the reasons we was excited about doing this podcast is because some of this stuff has got to get on camera, man.
Right.
Like I'm telling you, like you think Chip and Joanne and all of them and Egypt and whoever, man, when we put a new Airbnb listed it, and we've got like 2 days.
I can tell Kashena's thinking about specific stories with that laugh. Like things were coming to mind.
We got 2 days before we're getting ready to have the first guest, and they've booked. Oh man, it is pure comedy, man. It's wonderful for television. But getting back on track. So really, as part of that love story, one of the things that we met each other late. We married in 2021. In 2021, we bought a house that would kind of bring our blended family together, right? And one of the things that we did was, so we got this super massive house. It's not a mansion or anything, but it's just it's way bigger than you would think. 3 stories,
like huge fixer-upper.
Yeah, like five or 6 bedrooms, depending on how you count it, right? Yeah.
And so it's not a mansion, but you're describing something. I mean,
no,
it didn't have any flooring when we got here.
Yeah, so the second and the third floor it only had the subfloor.
Okay. Oh wow.
Right? Yeah. So we really had to put some serious work into it. But what it did have was a in-law suite that was completely fixed up.
He's skipping around, but I lived in Atlanta.
Okay.
I lived in College Park area of Georgia. So I was already hesitant about moving to Florida because I was like, people vacation there, they don't live there.
Mm-hmm.
And anyhow, he's a real estate agent, right? So he showed me the worst houses first so that I would be okay with this fixer-upper.
Perfect.
Yeah. So when we got this house, it had it had an in-law suite and like 4 bedrooms on the second and third floor. So first floor is so my first inclination was we bought it, number one, the in-law suite with the in-law suite for income, but also we were like, Kashena's aunts, if something happens to them or if something happened to my mom, they could have a place to stay, right? But the first thing was for income, and so for me, it was long-term income, right? And so we go through this, I get a renter and then all this stuff until finally, that renter leaves, and then it's like she's like, give it to me Airbnb, give it to her Airbnb. So
he's making it.
No,
better than it actually.
No, it was pretty bad.
It was like a whole year.
It was pretty bad on me, right? Yeah. But
we
almost
needed counseling.
Yeah, almost. We almost did. Yeah, right. But almost immediately when I turned over to her for Airbnb, it is like I'm pulling a cord and money's coming down from the ceiling, once a month. And so and that just continues, right? And you would think with that I'd be more willing to have gone to the second and the third property as Airbnb, but no, I made her wait like 6 or 9 months, whatever that, right?
Yeah.
But no, I think the patience which Kashena has shown has really and you see that when she's working it through with the guests as well, right? Like she's absolutely the right person to do the role that she's doing.
Cool. Well, Kashena, how since you're the force behind the Airbnbs, how did you first get introduced to hosting, and what drew you to it? What made you know this is the thing to do?
Especially as a behavioral therapist, like that's a pretty big shift.
Well,
right?
back
into real estate.
Yeah, like back around COVID, we were home and we had nothing to do, so you'd see all these YouTube videos about making money and on Airbnb. And then not only that, we were following this guy, I forgot his name, the multifamily movement.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was about multifamily. Before we bought this house, we lived in a duplex, which is one of our Airbnbs now. And it was like multifamily, but I thought, well, can I make more money doing the short term than long term? And so he was trying to rent out our old place, and he met this woman. She had this story. Her husband died of COVID, and then he let her rent our suite, our first Airbnb. And I was like, $700? Really? Like you can't rent a room for, like, this is a whole kitchen, everything private. You don't have to engage with us at all. You got front door parking, and it's $700. I'm like, surely I can make more than $700.
Right.
Yeah.
Airbnb, even if I don't know anything, right?
Yeah.
And then it's our house, so there's nothing to lose. That's how I sold it to him.
Yeah.
It's empty, like zero,
Right.
You're making zero now, so anything is good. So
Yeah.
let's see where this goes.
And plus, the 700 comparison is a low bar. So all you have, if you got $100 a night and you rented it out, just a third of the month, you're already winning. So,
and then the second thing was the terms of the $700 was she had to get out when his mother came for Christmas.
that's how she got the deal.
So I was like, well, if we short term rent it, we don't have to worry about putting this lady out.
Yes, block off Christmas time.
Right, yeah. So that's how we got started with that one.
Interesting. So I guess just kind of fast forwarding, making the transition from long term now to short term, the money and was the real deciding factor. It's like, hey, we can make X 2-3 times the return as the long term, even though there are a lot of upfront costs. I know you guys had mentioned, right? You're furnishing it, and there's a couple different things, paying different bills, but now you guys are full force ahead on short-term rentals. Kind of give all the listeners just a little bit of an overview on why you guys love short-term rentals so much and why you guys are just steaming ahead.
So let me just say this. It actually wasn't the money that really turned me. It really wasn't. So I had this experience after we rented out the in-law suite, and I'm trying to. And so one of my units from the duplex became vacant. So, starting to go and show that to people and everything. And I showed it to a bunch of people. And this was, babe, what was this like? I guess probably 20, 23, 20, 22, 23, whatever, right? And I showed it a bunch of people. They're interested, but then nobody calls back, whatever. And then I had a friend who had someone who was coming from relocating from out of town, and so brought the people in, showed them the place, and the lady was like, "Yeah, I just can't rent this." And by the way, I appreciate her honesty, right? Because when you become honest with somebody, you can deal with it and you can move forward, right? She says, "I can't deal with this place. This place has white white appliances." I said, "Okay," because I had honestly I had a really affordable rent, right? I mean, compared to so I was talking, I think I was talking 1,800 when it was probably 22 or 2,400. It just depends on how you look at it, right? Mm-hmm. So it was affordable, and for the most part, I think the lady could agree that it was affordable, but yeah, so she was like, "Hey, it's got white appliances," and it was something else that was really like minimal, right? And so really, and after she left, something clicked in me, man. I was like, I can't do this. No, she's saying money, but no, I was like, wait a minute. I got a wife who's she's going to do all the interactions with the people. We've got a cleaning person who's going to clean it. And so, I started going down all the positives, and then kind of after all that, it was like, I could potentially make more money, right? And I was like, I could, because first of all, I didn't believe I could make more money totally, right? Because it's not a vacation rental. It is not a vacation rental. Mm-hmm. We and babe, I would say we've kind of hit a niche where we are essentially folks that come to Northwest Florida who want a low cost. They really one or two people. You either want a low cost vacation, or you're coming here because you're either relocating, or lately we've got a bunch of work crews that have come and military related
and traveling medical,
yeah. And so I didn't necessarily believe that we were going to get the bookings to make more money, right? And so but honestly, that one interaction was like it burned it into my skull. So like that was a switch immediately, right? And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do long term anymore. I want to deal with short term clients. And look, we've got good stories, bad stories, whatever about short term rentals, but it's definitely the worst story. The worst story for short term rentals for us is probably going to be almost as good as like the mid range story for the long term.
Yeah. No, that's good. Now, and the good thing is you're always in the unit, right? So as opposed to a full year going by, and then you have this huge $15,000-$20,000 repair bill, depending on how the tenants were or something like that. So overall, for the listeners, what's a good baseline structure on systems on how you guys have built the business? I heard you just said interactions, cleaning. Those were a baseline, and then finding the clientele. Low-cost vacationers, travel, medical, government, military, but kind of off the cuff of a traditional Airbnb, which would be this vacation rental style. So how are you guys building your systems, and what have you guys seen that works really well and some things that maybe haven't?
So for us, we love simplicity, right? Mm-hmm. And so you'll have some people who they, they'll talk to you 5 minutes about a pricing strategy, right? we use Airbnb smart pricing. We will go in and we'll adjust kind of like the high and the low, but that's what we use. In terms of our locks, we use the Schlage, and I hate to even say names without an endorsement deal, but
we bought so many.
You can just say smart locks. We don't got to give them shout outs.
Yeah, but I got to keep it real though, right? And so the Schlage locks, they integrate with Airbnb. As soon as somebody does a booking, they get assigned a lock code
through Airbnb.
You get the beginning time, the ending time. There's not, easy peasy, right? And
that's
so
pretty awesome.
That
was taking the most time when we started for me. Create a code, message them with the code, make sure everything's worded right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a little golden tip right there.
Yeah.
So we've, and then in terms of cleaning, for the Niceville, Florida properties, we essentially have a cleaning person that, for lack of a better term, owns those listings, right? And we've got backups in case that person is on vacation or whatever. But as soon as we get a listing, Kashena will go in there, she'll plug in the day that after they're leaving, boom, and send them a Google Calendar or whatever, right? We have a Navarre listing. We have a cleaning person that owns that listing. We're working on co-hosting.
We have 2 Navarre listings.
Yeah, I was saying having the cleaning people own the listing is definitely key. I know from my experience, that's how I have mine set up, where I got one person over these few and another person over these, and they really. Once you kind of find, you're usually in between cleaners. I might try 2 or 3 to find the one, but then once you find that one, I found out that for the most part, they don't even they'll have themselves covered if they got to go out of town.
Yes, we found that as well, right?
Yeah.
And for us,
because they don't want to lose the deal, so they don't want you to find someone else. They'll find them for you, and that way they can when they come back. Yeah,
right. And so me being a realtor, I love kind of using relationships. Sometimes Kashena is like, I want arm's length away. Well, with the cleaning people, we personally know these people, whatever, and we kind of vetted them. And so for the most part, we're finding really good success with the people that we choose.
That's awesome.
We have a power team.
Yes, we do.
For Airbnb.
Talking about power teams, how are you putting those together? I know you said that It
really was like, I don't want to sound crazy, but God just sent the people. Like, we already knew the cleaning lady before we started. She knows the property better than anybody because she used to rent it.
Right.
Nice.
Just the other one we have a relationship at church with. So
walk us through the process on acquiring a property to make it Airbnb ready. What does the transformation look like?
Yeah. So again, honestly, we're keeping that simple, sir. And
we have a $5,000 rule that keeps us still married.
Yeah,
I like it. I'm curious on what this $5,000
we can get it set up within $5,000, including deposits on utilities and everything.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. So
walk us through. And I guess we got to give you a size place, but let's just say that you guys got or what's your average place? Is it a 2-bedroom, or is it? I know you guys got duplexes, or is it 4 houses?
We have 3-2. We have mostly 3s, but
we
do have a 2, and we started with the 1.
What do you a 3-2?
We're co-hosting a 4 right now.
Okay, 3-2 is a good example. Tell us how would y'all furnish that 3-2 to get it all at $5,000? Where would you? How would that all?
It's a little Amazon. It's a little thrift.
Facebook Marketplace.
Yes.
Ross.
Walmart clearance.
Yes.
Love it. Look, Facebook Marketplace is very underrated. I get so many good deals off of there.
We're like 8 minutes from Destin, so there's a lot of good stuff out there.
Well, and you guys probably know this already, but since you guys are local and know Destin, the thrift shops in Destin, Goodwills and
phenomenal, right? Yes, phenomenal.
Yeah,
Destin,
thrift shop in a good area has good
Yes.
stuff.
And we used to be Old Time Pottery, but they closed it.
Yeah.
Right. No.
So with this $5,000 setup rule, I'm sure that's in combination with your power team, and your power team obviously consists of you guys. And then it sounds like you let the cleaners own that market for that listing. What are some other key people in the power team? Like, who's the interior designer? Who's the one thrifting? Is that all part of what you guys are doing, or is that something you outsource? Yeah.
It's me.
Okay.
And
that's in house if you're keeping it at $5,000, Will.
Yeah.
But I will say, now that we've built relationships with our community, I have people that'll just send me stuff. Like, did you see this on Marketplace? Did you see this here? Yeah. And I just go get it, or sometimes they'll get it for me.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So just networking, telling people what you guys are doing, letting them know. I think you guys also have just a real unique niche within Airbnb. You know, a lot of people are trying to do vacation rentals, and you guys are servicing a different side of that market, but using Airbnb as a tool. And I think that's really neat. Earlier, you guys had mentioned rental arbitrage and co-hosting, and you just mentioned it again that you have a couple co-hosts. So you guys are scaling your portfolio. Like, if I was interested, or for the listeners that might want to do short-term rentals, what exactly do those mean, and how have those strategies helped your business?
Yeah, so rental arbitrage is when you go out and you find a rental, and usually that rental, that landlord is having trouble renting the place. It could the best situation that we found for us is when the reason they're having trouble renting it is because they're not getting enough exposure, right? So what you really want is you want a rental that is nice, decent location, whatever, but that the owner, they just can't get it rented because they're not out there marketing it enough.
So essentially, there's a rental. I'm going to get it for $2,000, but on Airbnb in the high season, I know that we're going to be able to essentially Airbnb it for $4,000. I don't know if that
8 to 10.
Yeah. So I guys, let me give y'all a real number. So we found I was on this walking kick, let's say like 2 years ago, and I kept going by this for rent sign every day, right? And sometimes you ask the Lord to send you a sign, and we can write a whole chapter about that. And sometimes it's literally a sign, right? And it was this for rent sign. It wasn't written in crayon, but it should have been, right? And it was like, and like the phone number, it had a different phone number, and it was one phone number was on the sign on the major road. There was another number that was by the house. And it was confusing me. And I'm like, I don't know how if you had some poor family that was trying to live there, I don't know how they would have figured it all out, right? It took some patience. So that was $1,500, right? And so I talked to that landlord, and you have to be 100% upfront about everything, because it has to go into the lease, right? And one thing I would say is, in terms of a power team, and I underestimate it sometimes, because I remember before I was a realtor how hard I struggled because I couldn't find somebody to service me as a realtor, right? But being a realtor and having access to all the contracts and whatever, when I talk to that landlord, I'm like, hey, I'm going to write the lease for you, right? I'm going to give you the terms. I'm going to tell you, hey, that hey, we're going to be on Airbnb, I put Airbnb, VRBO, or like, or whatever, right? And so from there, I knew, because Kashena had already she'd already been renting out on Airbnb our in-law suite plus the duplexes. I know in the down season that I can make $2,000 to $2,500, right? So then $1,500. I'm like, okay, you basically you're talking about $500 for utilities and whatnot and everything, data and everything. So I'm like, okay, I can cover this, right? And then like she says, I'm like, hey, Sheena, you got $500, you got $5,000. Well, how
4,550.
Right, yeah, right. And so and and I know I'm gonna be going to the store, and then I'm gonna get a text message. Okay, you got to pick up this. You got to pick up this couch. Okay, whatever, right? So then I drive my little truck over, pick the couch up. Think I'm done for today. It's like, okay, now you need to pick up a dresser. Oh God, and I'll go pick a dresser up, right? But yeah. So that's rental arbitrage. You're renting for one number, with the expectation that you're going to. So this was $1,500, and then I know that I should be able to get $2,000 to $2,500. I would say historically, Kashena has probably managed somewhere between $2,500 to $3,000 for this neighborhood that we're in. So that definitely was a worthwhile exercise, particularly when you start scaling that up.
Okay.
And before we do that, we usually run like AirDNA or whatever other things is to see what the potential is, and that's like my number to beat.
Yes.
Before we even decide to reach out.
And then we'll even enhance, like looking at, we won't just look at AirDNA. We're going to actually look at, hey, what we're going to go to Airbnb, and we're going to say, hey, for XX days, what is the rental price? How many are available? How many are not available? So what's the vacancy rate look like? Right. So we look at all that before we get started.
No, I love that. So what is it you guys do that separates you guys to help you maintain that Superhost status for the last 3 years?
I believe it's being personable. Everybody's in this kick of automation, and I don't believe you should have more than 80% automation. That's my personal belief. Because the people that can afford or that are renting these properties, they like the self check-in, they like all that, but at some point they want to know you're on the other end or on their team.
Yeah.
And you have to, even if it is automated, you have to make it seem like it's not. We also, we give thank you trays and little perks to make people feel good about choosing our place over others.
I think that is a key way to set a good tone on check-in. I do the same thing where I have at all my Airbnbs, I have, bottled water, like depending how many the guest numbers is, I have that many bottles in the fridge already. And then I have, a little snack tray where I usually have some like salty trail mix with like some sweet cookies. I got a 50-50 split. So people can kind of choose what they want. But yeah, I think there's little treats. There's stuff that costs minimal, but it already puts a very positive tone in. How do you manage to maintain the 5-star reviews so consistently? And then what maybe systems, tools, or SOPs do you guys swear by?
The Superhost SOPs are perfect. I mean, I add my own little personality to them, but I follow them to a T. What else would you say? Yeah. And I actually care about my guests. So I make it known that I care about my guests.
Yeah.
In the messages that I send, I check on them after 3 days, like, hey, everything good? You need anything? Let us know if you need anything. Enjoy your stay.
Right. And then when they do need something, like we respond, like and we, if anything, we overreact, right? And so we really do try to make it clear that that we love our guests, right? I mean, they're our reason for success.
Oh, that's awesome. With, like you said, with all the automation and everything that's happening there now, but still kind of using some of your little golden rules, like the $5,000 rule. I know that's probably extremely manual to stay under budget, but then also to furnish it and make it to a point where it's attractive and marketable. How are you guys kind of managing that, finding these types of deals, being able to furnish, get everything set up, ready to go, and then really scale your marketing to make sure that you have low vacancies?
Yeah, so that's one thing. That's one thing that we have been thinking about a lot lately, because particularly as we're moving into co-hosting. So like for instance, I would really like to. I'd really like to try to figure out can we furnish a place off of just Amazon?
I don't want to do that.
She does not want to do it, right? But
we stay ready.
Right.
Yeah, we have a whole garage, a whole storage of furniture ready to go for the next one.
Right. So you live on stream, you're seeing the tension right now. Right? because
each place doesn't have the same thing.
Right.
Plus, it's not going to up that $5,000. So
yes.
So that's going to change the number.
And so it's a healthy tension, right? Because like for instance, so and I like the customization too. So like I'll go and my thing is to offer the guests board games, right? And I kept, because I've essentially been playing Monopoly since I was a kid, right? And then
you really never stopped.
Right. So that's one of the things that I do, right? But then we had this one family who they came and stayed at our place because they were I think it was insurance purposes, something like that. Like either house burned down,
it was a flood
or something like that, right? So they stayed at our place.
That's
and
the
it's this one service member who's he had 3 daughters. Yeah, he had 3 daughters, a wife, and grandma was staying and we weren't supposed to have the dog there, right? But the dog stayed there. Then we had to deal with a whole extra pet deposit or whatever, right? But this, I think the dog was female as well. So this poor guy is outnumbered completely, 6-1, right? And it was something went on with the place. So me and the maintenance guy had to come through with a set of tools or whatever, fix something, whatever, right? This guy's I could tell he's stressed out, right? But while I was there, he pulled out the game of life, and I just got that as a whatever strategy or whatever, right? It was at a thrift store, and during the 10 to 15 minutes of they're playing the game of life while I'm there, his daughter is dancing around. She's like, I just got married, and because in the game of life and and that man had peace for like 5 to 10 minutes, and that was a beautiful thing to see, right? And so if I had not gotten that, if I hadn't been through the thrift store and it got the game of life, then he wouldn't have experienced that. I wouldn't have experienced that either, right? So what I would say is that it's a healthy tension. We're really trying to figure it out, man. And I say that I the management side of me wants to pull the lever down. I want a bill of materials loaded up in Amazon, 2-bedroom house, a second buying list, 3-bedroom house, but we have to work through that. But at the end of the day, Kashena will agree.
But then he's like, there's a problem. This won't fit.
Right. But
you gotta send it back.
Right. But she will agree. She wants to co-host in Tampa. She wants to co-host in Georgia. She wants to co-host in Texas.
So load the truck up and let's roll.
Right. Yeah. But anyway, so you guys are experiencing the HGTV show live.
Because I'm the designer, right? But then he comes with board games where I'm gonna put these.
This particular story, actually, you triggered something in me that I got a personal question on, because I've been trying to figure out how to tap into it for a while, and you guys did. How'd y'all get that call from the insurance company to put that family up, because I've known lots of people, or not lots, a handful of people who have converted out of long-term rentals just to rent to insurance companies for like fire victims, fire victims, storm victims, things like that. They all told me that the insurance companies pay premium, and it's like the best rentals they've ever done. So how'd they find you?
They just found
that
us on Airbnb.
particular wife was trying to stay ahead of the game because it was summertime and she already knew that most places were booked. So we did make quite a bit of money on that one.
Yeah.
And they weren't asking for any discounts.
That's awesome.
But then they tell their friends, because we made them feel great. And we accepted their dog. So then they tell their friends and they spread the word, like, when this happens to you.
Yeah,
these people.
That's awesome. I know it's kind of like, I know that I've heard of some people getting tapped in directly with an insurance company. I haven't figured out that direct contact yet. So
yeah.
We're trying to figure that out ourselves, right? And so when we find out, we will let you know, Sam.
I appreciate it. I need so far. What's one mistake you see newer hosts make or property owners make when launching an Airbnb? What's the mistake you see them make, and how to avoid it?
Trying to have a designer set up, doing too much.
Right. Like you
hear
keep
it basic, keep it simple. White dishes. If they break a dish, you can replace a white dish. You can't replace these custom dishes.
Right.
I totally agree. I love doing the mass production of I get all the kitchenware and restaurantware from Sam's Club's commercial.
Right. Because at the end of the day, they don't care.
Yeah, they don't. Well, it's restaurant wear, so it's good quality, stuff. But then again, it's easily replaceable, and it's also, it's the best price per fork, spoon, and knife you can get.
Right.
That's right.
We don't go Dollar Tree. We do nice, but we do something that we know we can replace.
No one's ever questioned where I got all that metal silverware from. So
and having like all these theme rooms, because I'm thinking about the fact that it's easy to book a summer vacation when all the beachfront waterfronts are booked. Mm-hmm. So how do I rent to people off season? I'm looking at the off season people. They don't, the beach, the sea turtles and all that's not going to get them.
Mm-hmm. What's been the craziest hosting experience so far, or maybe the most difficult one?
We have a lot of groups of workers. Mm-hmm. And that has been the most challenging because they're not the ones booking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then for me, Kashena tell you, I just go nuts over the trash can. Like, it's the simplest thing, man. Like, leave the trash can at the curb. If you got trash, just take it to the curb, and the trash folks will take it away. The houses we're in, they're not going to find you if it's at the curb, but you will have people. They'll move the trash can back 3 feet. And the trash doesn't come. The trash didn't get picked up. So then they make it worse by they put it in the recycling bin, but they don't take that to the curb. So now, and the other day, the cleaning ladies was like, "Hey, the bear, I guess a bear came down the street." People not from Florida don't realize we actually have these little small black bear cubs sometimes that'll come through, and they knock the can over. It's the simplest thing like that, right? Like, it's not you can work on your occupancy rate, you can work on your pricing, if something gets broken, you can work through that. But when the communication is weird or if now somebody has parked in the wrong spot, or the trash can situation is weird, and those are the things that really drive you nuts.
I can see why Kashena is in charge of customer service and customer interaction.
I get more nuts when you have large groups of people and they brought the twin bed from downstairs
Oh,
to the
yeah.
laundry room.
Oh God.
And so now I'm not carrying it back upstairs where I had it, you know.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
people will redecorate
Or
the
they
place.
have my brand new white chairs that I replaced because someone
Outside.
broke them before, sitting outside in the rain.
Yes.
And
Oh,
there's
man.
patio furniture, that
Right.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
I hope you have a good deposit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, that Airbnb insurance is it
Yeah.
works. You know, I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
used it yet, but it's it's good
No,
stuff.
we have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not the insurance, but Kashena has made claims. Like, and honestly, we try not to make claims, right? Like if it's if it's a small thing, and particularly if somebody tells us, hey, something broke, we're sorry, such and such. Now, if they smash a window, then we're gonna have to make a claim or use insurance. But
I've had that happen.
that's terrible. But
two,
no,
my
it's
two biggest claims were an 8-foot sliding glass door and
gosh.
and a sectional couch.
Oh.
But
A
Oh.
sectional
Sectional
couch.
couch through the sliding glass door. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
two separate instances, but yeah, both were definitely were my big ones that it was like, this can't be happening.
Right.
But
so kind of all encompassing, it sounds like simplicity is key and communication is key. You've been a Superhost for multiple years now. It seems like co-hosting is a great opportunity to kind of scale and help others in the business with your expertise. Tell us a little bit about co-hosting, what it would be, and how you pitch investors. Because for me, I'm not in the short-term rental game, but if I was, knowing that you're a Superhost, that's already getting me interested to co-host, because you obviously know what you're doing. You have great customer success and customer support. But what does that look like as a partnership in co-hosting?
Yeah, so co-hosting gets me really excited, right? For a couple reasons. So like for instance, so Kashena's she's a super host. She's got all this experience, whatever, right? I came into it late, right? So essentially what we did was we created this paradigm where so first of all, being a super host, people don't realize this. They will
automatically invited to co-host.
Right. People will reach out to Kashena for co-hosting opportunities. She's got
that's cool.
Right. So she's gotten 2 or 3 opportunities on that. So for those opportunities, she's the main host on that.
Got it.
Cool. So but me being a realtor, understanding, so if I don't kill it, I don't eat it, right? So I'm out literally in the streets, finding new co-hosts, right? And so and honestly, it's very similar to being a realtor, and with the for sale by owners, it's the rent for rent by owners, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I call people up, and those are the best conversations. And they have the best turnover for me, right? And
so it's really actually you guys searching rentals, not people that are actually having low occupancy rates or not having a high success rate on Airbnb.
We have both.
We do both.
It's a combination.
Yeah. But for me, I like the hunt. I like calling people up and helping them out. And so for those that I'm bringing in, now I'm the main host. I actually, over the next, I don't know, couple of months, whatever, if for the properties that I bring in, if we can maintain a good rating, I'll actually qualify for Superhost. That's not my main goal, right? Kashena is the Superhost, and for the ones I'm bringing in, we're splitting the profit on them, and she's still like sending out the messages and doing most of the contacts, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And the thing I love is that you have these people who were really struggling, and I can identify with it, right? They're struggling and you could call it the economy, you could call it, the generation, you could call it whatever. People are struggling. And so I like to help people, right? So it's a really simple conversation, right? And it's people that you would not expect that we would have anything in common with, right? But at the end of the day, I'm helping them, right? And so we love the fact that, and then, part of the conversation is we're bringing our power team, right? And we're filling in gaps. So, if you don't have a cleaner, we have a cleaner. You guys don't realize this, but at the event that we were at last month, we picked up a wonderful HVAC dude, right? Oh my gosh! And one of the properties that we co-host on.
Wait, I just got paused. You were networking at that event that didn't allow networking.
We're always networking, baby.
We went to Clean Eats and just had lunch.
That's right. We was networking with you, right? And
I was kidding because since I left it when they got mad at me for passing out business cards.
Yeah, right. And so
you left out for sale by owners too, because sometimes they, for sale by owners are sitting and they're struggling and they need to make some income. They might still want to sell. They might change their mind after they see the money come in.
Right. And so it's a great conversation to have. And then being a realtor, I'm used to the stupid conversations. Like you put it out there. You put it out there where you're like, hey, I want to rent such and such. Please contact me. I contact you, and then you say I'm spamming you. I'm like, sir or ma'am, you asked somebody to reach out to you to rent your place. I'm trying to help you rent your place, right? So I'm used to all those conversations, right? And so, so we really like that. And so, with me, I probably just haven't been consistent enough with reaching out to these folks, but and then now I'm getting referred as a co-host, right? Like I was telling, like right before this call, somebody reached out to us because this might be a shock to your listener, but you can Airbnb a trailer, right? And so this one lady that we co-host for, it's a trailer. Like realistically, she was only gonna get $1,500, maybe $1,700 a month on that trailer. It's in a nice area, right? But it's a trailer.
She was already listed on Airbnb, and she was struggling.
She wasn't
getting any.
Right, and so it was a sign on the side of the road. I called her up. She's like, "Hey, I got a furnished place with whatever, 4 bedrooms, whatever." But she wasn't getting any hits. I call her up. Now she went from making $0 a month to averaging like 3,000, right? And that's a trailer, right? And so what can we do with a house, right? And so we're so the co-hosting really gets me excited because I'm really passionate about helping people, and I was there, man. I was there. Like I tell you, when that lady came to my place talking about for long-term renting, and she said what did she say? She said that the white appliances give me trauma. They remind me of the struggle. And I said, oh my gosh, I cannot do this anymore, right? And I remember, missing the months of rent, but also just struggling to understand what am I going to do next, right? And so just the opportunity to help people is really exciting for me. And what do you think, babe? What about co-hosting do you like?
Still leaving some of the stuff we don't like to do on the owner. Like they still gotta pay back to fix the HVAC. Right. They still gotta, I'll call, I'll make the connection,
and we'll help them get the best price, right? But so that
I love letting other people pay the bills. That's the best part.
Yeah. So that's the other reason why when you talk about scaling, that's
your
why
property insurance.
Yes. When you talk about scaling, that's why we really like co-hosting. That's another reason.
That's interesting. So as you scale and move forward, what would a typical contract for a co-host look like? And then how does that I guess, increase your load of getting new employees and things like that? Because I'm sure once you hit whatever the threshold is, you'll have to have more people as you're getting more and more property, personal or co-hosting.
Speak it, William. We want those good problems, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, gold-plated problems at that point. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
That's why we charge a percentage and we don't charge a flat rate.
Right.
Okay.
What's the percentage y'all charge for co-hosting?
It's anywhere from 18 to 24, depending on what you're asking us to do.
Right.
I feel like that's super fair. I mean, short-term rentals already, property managers are through the roof, and then they find a million property damages, and then they charge you have to use all their people, and then their fee that's 10 to 15% is like 30 a year. So plus you guys have the biggest thing is being a Superhost, right? So that already just gives the comfortability and everything to someone that's not doing well or making no money, like you were just saying,
right?
No money at all. So that's awesome. If I was wanting to get into it, or if I was a newbie, like what would you guys tell someone if they wanted to get into short-term rental? Would it be best to get all of your advice and download, or is it best to co-host and partner?
I honestly,
I don't think you should start co-hosting because I don't think you've walked the walk yet. I think you got to walk through at least one of your own to understand who your customer is and what they need from you.
Yeah. I guess maybe not co-hosting, using a co-host.
Yeah. I would. I say to people, and it's part of the conversation I have with people is, hey, you could co-host. I would recommend you co-host with us for at least 6 to 12 months, right? Because and preferably 12 months, and it's not even trying to get money from people, but if you do it for 12 months, you see the cycle of the peak and the non-peak season, and you see how some strategies work, some strategies don't work, right? Mm-hmm. You know, one of the things I had to learn early on was, you know, in terms of pricing strategy, you can't overthink AI, right? Because AI is working at 2 a.m. in the morning, and one of the things we found out, Kashena really brought it up, was I think a lot of Airbnbs get booked at 2 a.m. right? It's the thing, right? And so and I
love waking up to seeing a fresh booking in the morning.
Yeah. You know,
we love it too.
Yeah. And it's sometimes you're not booking it. Sometimes the mom who's looking at the vacation is looking at 2 a.m. Like, you know, she got kids down. You know,
put it in the wish
list.
Husband,
put it in the wish list. Husband finally shut up and went to sleep. Now she gets to look at Airbnbs, right? You can't time all that, right? And so there's things like that mistakes that you're going to make, in that as a host, if you have the co-host to really give you the strategy, like for instance, we started out with quick set locks, right? And the reason we did quick set locks is because as a long-term renter, as a long-term landlord, you know, I love the quick set because you can quickly change them out. If you get somebody out, you gotta, within I would say 90 to 120 minutes, you need to have them locks changed.
But I was gonna say
that, but then I found out as soon as she told me that Slade would automatically do the update and the codes and whatever, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm happy with Slade now, right? But those are the kind of conversations, and those are the things that you really need the co-host to really help you with.
The people that reach out to me though, they're working, they're busy, they just don't want to talk to people.
Right.
They own properties. And they just want the check. They don't want to deal with all the other stuff. And they're like, I'll pay you 20, whatever.
Right.
Just put a check in my account.
One of my personal Airbnbs, the way I'm partnered with someone on a condo in Destin. The way I got into that was because he didn't want to talk to guests. Mm-hmm. He didn't mind. He wanted to own a short-term rental, but he didn't want to deal with short-term rental stuff. So he and I made an agreement on day one that, well, hey, look, I'll run the Airbnb platform. We'll use my cleaners. I'll handle all the guest interactions, basically kind of what you do for people. And then if there's a problem that requires someone to have to show up to the property, he has to go.
Right.
It's a perfect relationship. So, I mean, there's definitely a lot of people out there that need that. But what's next for Team Thorpe? More listings? Maybe a coaching program on Airbnb, expansion in other markets. What's you got on your horizon?
Yeah, all of that. But what I would say though, no, seriously, consistency. So you know, I'm not going through the pipeline on a consistent basis, and the pipeline is free. I mean, it's absolutely free. Like there's no list you buy. You go up to you find a for rental and you call it, right. You see a for rent sign, you call it, right. So I have to make consistent, and so absolutely it's the consistency, and we're gonna go from there. And we've already started talking about, you know, different areas and whatnot. Started making a couple contacts in different areas and whatnot. And so we're dipping our toe into it, but we got to get more consistent in terms of bringing in customers, because it's an opportunity to help more people. And that's sometimes the economy is good, sometimes it's bad. Right now, I think there's a lot of people that need help, and so we want to be out there helping folks.
So, as a co-host, do you have to be a property manager or a realtor? Like if someone
you don't have to for Airbnb. Right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So long-term renting, honestly, the biggest piece, like my broker says, for long-term renting, the biggest piece that holds you back from being a property manager is the escrow and concerns. So in Florida, that'll hold you back a little bit. So you really need your broker's license for that. But there's absolutely no there's no thing that you need to be a co-host.
Nice.
What advice would you give to a couple thinking about starting a real estate business together?
Oh, yeah.
We probably need a separate answer from each of you guys on this.
I say I'm the just do it. He's the let's process this for a minute.
I love it.
But that's what makes it work.
Yeah. I would just pile on to that.
I just rip the Band-Aid off and do it.
Yeah, I would say each person needs to understand their role, but then they also need to be receptive for the other person, like the things that they have to say, and that's a really hard balance, right? Because
I think it's the hardest balance.
A lot of times you're like, hey, you need to stay in your role. Or hey, you're not doing your role right, or whatever, right? And so that can be challenging, right? And so but what we found is, as we get better, number one, you don't have to worry about what the other person is doing, because now number one, the person is getting better at it. Number two, you learn to trust them more, and then the other side is if one person is saying the same thing over and over about your role, okay, maybe we need to listen, or at least give a different response, right? And then from there we start integrating together and whatnot, right? I would say, listening to Kashena enough times actually helped me be ready to make the phone calls to co-host, right? Because then at that point I'm the lead on the property, and then she's kind of secondary, right? And so you can learn from each other, but you have to have that patience to be able to do that.
And you have to agree to have that separate from your relationship.
That's
maybe the hardest part. Right? Yeah.
Like you might not get anything for dinner,
Yeah.
Paul, we got plenty of clean eats meals. I'm just throwing it out there. Keep that.
You come home to a vending machine.
Yeah.
Too funny. Maybe some Superhost snacks.
Yeah. Go get it how you live. Yeah.
So if if someone wants to partner up or co-host with you guys, or just check out some of your properties, how do they find you guys?
Okay. Yeah. So the easiest way is, man, give me a call.
We're on Airbnb.
Yeah, we're listed on Airbnb. You'll see Kashena Thorpe. You'll see Paul Thorpe up there. You got our shining faces on it. Give me a call, 850-559-9061, paulthorpesales@gmail.com.
Awesome.
Hey, we'll get after it. Our company is 5-Star Hosts. We're gonna get after it. We're gonna help you. We're gonna turn your problems into profits, right? And
I like that.
Yeah, we're gonna make certain that at the end of the day, when you talk about the Thorpes, you're gonna be like, hey man, those people helped me. And then you're gonna get calls like we're gonna get calls like I got before we came on. Hey, such and such, love what y'all did. We wanna work with you.
I just want to mention also, I don't think we mentioned that there is a co-host site on Airbnb that if you are interested in or need a co-host, you can just click on the co-host site,
right,
and find a co-host that fits your needs. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's cool. No, that's a great tip. And yeah, I definitely, as someone who hosts Airbnbs, I definitely think that there's a huge place for co-hosts in the world. There's many days that I sometimes think, is this the day I get a co-host and hand it off? Because there are frustrations with it, but then at the same time, I do enjoy the fact of being a part of some people's like family memories. Like that, their family memories are made at one of your places, and that it's your spot that they're having their annual summer vacation too. There's just such a good feeling in that, knowing that you're set up something that contributes to a family's happiness that's going to carry on years to come. So I love talking to short-term rental hosts, and I think you guys have a great niche. Also working it with professional workforce people that come to Niceville, and thank you guys so much for coming on the show. I think you guys definitely gave us a lot of great information.
Hey, man, Sam and Will, we appreciate y'all inviting us, man. And we're looking to work. Hey, look, man, we started working with you guys, and we're looking to expand the business relationship. And we're excited for what's coming in the rest of 2025 and 2026.
Definitely. Well, definitely plan on trying to link up with you at the end of this month. You threw out those dates to us on that other business venture. So going to try to make that happen. But after the show, when we get offline, we'll shoot some messages back and forth and maybe try to figure out some time we can get lunch in the next couple of weeks.
Perfect.
Appreciate y'all coming on. And like I said, great information. And I hope you guys get some calls for some co-hosts.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks. And then make sure you guys check us out on the EliteRealEstatePodcast.com. Thanks for tuning in on Facebook or YouTube or whatever you're listening on, Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. So really trying to build up our YouTube channel. So please go over to the Elite Real Estate Podcast on YouTube and hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, but make sure you stop by Clean Eats. If you're in Mobile, Shalimar, Pensacola, Tallahassee, grab a good meal, set up your meal prep for the week. But other than that, always open ears. I just got another few texts. If you guys have any questions on specific, land deals or just deals overall that you want to look at, shoot me over or Sam, the parcel ID. We'll definitely help out as much as we can. And if you guys have any deals that you're looking to sell, we're always buying land, especially in Escambia County. So appreciate you guys. And thanks to Thorpe for being on. Wealth of knowledge. So thanks.
All right, guys.
Thanks, guys, for being on the show. We'll see everyone next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Take care, guys.